My name is Shayn Prapaisilp, and I'm the Chief Operating Officer of STJ Group Holdings here in St. Louis. We have two international grocery stores, Global Foods Market in Kirkwood and United Provisions in the Delmar Loop, as well as 4 restaurants. We're here at Shaoban, a Thai restaurant in the Grove. We have King and I on South Grand, Oishi Sushi in Creve Coeur, and Oishi Steakhouse in the Chesterfield Valley. When my parents first started the business, international restaurants and grocery stores were pretty uncommon. They came here for school and they ran out of money and they needed to find work, and so at the time there was a large Vietnamese refugee population coming over at the end of the Vietnam War, and they saw an opportunity to feed people who are unmoored from their home, and starting with a small little corner store in South City to now 2 grocery stores. When we first opened King and I, the menu was actually half Chinese and half Thai. My parents were kind of nervous that if we went with an all-Thai menu, people wouldn't know what it was, and so we would have kind of traditional Chinese American dishes, and my mom and dad would go around offering free samples of pad Thai to people because it was new to them. I think they should be really proud of what they've accomplished here in St. Louis. A lot of people, they know the King and I, they know Global Foods, and I think they've built those things and our other businesses into St. Louis landmarks. A lot of the great restaurants here in St. Louis purchase their ingredients from Global Foods, and whether it's your favorite Vietnamese restaurant or Indian restaurant, there's a good chance some of their ingredients came from us. It's one of the few places in St. Louis where you can hear 8, 9, 10 different languages going on, people from 5 different continents asking each other, what do you make with that? How do you use that? It's not just for us a grocery store, but a community gathering place for both new Americans or Americans who've been here for a long time wanting to try something new. Recently we had a large influx of Afghan refugees, and so we went out of our way to find the types of ingredients that they needed and brought that here. American food culture and foodways are so much more interesting now. People are curious about where food comes from and these new tastes and flavors, so it's kind of catching up on the new trend and seeing what folks are interested in and then scouring literally the world to bring it here to St. Louis. What's great with our businesses is that we get to partner with so many organizations, the Very Asian Foundation, the International Institute, Operation Food Search. You just realize that there's so many people and so many great organizations doing great things here. I think it's great having the opportunity to make my own mark on the business, opening Shaoban and United Provisions and putting a more contemporary spin on it. So King and I, being the first Thai restaurant in St. Louis, we focused on central Thai food, which what I think most St. Louisans are familiar with. But my parents are actually from the north and south of Thailand, where their particular cuisine isn't well represented here in St. Louis. And so Shaoban is kind of a love letter to the way I grew up eating. I thought, why not open a restaurant where I can come here, enjoy the dishes that I love for myself, and introduce St. Louisans to different Thai dishes that they may not be familiar with. The menu that's reflected here is more of a regional specialty from the south and northeast. As much as I love pad Thai and curry, the food culture is much more than that, and I think it's representative of the new face of St. Louis. My dad was telling me when he immigrated, the Grove was mostly industrial. There were factories and foundries. When he said, you want to open a restaurant here, he was kind of perplexed, and then he came down and saw, what the neighborhood's become, folks making it their community. It's now one of the most exciting and diverse neighborhoods in St. Louis, and I think for a concept like this, it fit perfectly with what we're trying to do, kind of push some boundaries and introduce something new to St. Louis. Folks just have to kind of go out and see what there is, because there's so much more than the Arch and Busch Stadium. It's a really rich place culturally, food-wise, and there's just so much to learn on every corner.